Hello and good afternoon, children. Today you have literature, and I will be doing chapter 4, Pinocchio, the Naughty Puppet, from the Adventures of Pinocchio. Okay, children. Now, here, first of all, on page number 53, you have some pictures. The pictures are real and some are make-believe world of a story, that means imaginary. So here you have to take the pictures that are real, but those which are not real, please don't put a tick. So, can a puppet really come alive? Do you know what a puppet is? Here you can see a puppet. So the puppet looks like this, and you can see strings here. So I will read the story about a puppet, but this puppet is very naughty. Okay? Now let us read about a hidden boy who comes to life and runs away from home. Puppet is a doll that can be made to move with the help of strings. But here you have a hidden puppet. So let's read the story. Once upon a time, Master Geppetto, an old carpenter, received a gift from his friend Master Antonio. What was this gift, you ask? It was a block of wood. He was very happy and ran home with it. Now here, many years back, there was an old carpenter whose name was Master Geppetto. He had received a gift from his friend Master Antonio, because Master Geppetto had asked for a gift, and the gift was a wooden block. You know what is a wood? We get wood from trees. So Master Geppetto had asked for a block of wood. So he was very happy and ran home with it. Who was very happy? Master Geppetto was very happy. He was a carpenter. So as soon as he reached home or his little house, Geppetto took his tools and began to cut and shape the wood into a puppet. Now here you have tools. Tools mean small things like chisel used to carve wood. Chisel. With the chisel you can carve wood. So the carpenter was carving the puppet, the wood, to make a puppet. Now what shall I call him? He said to himself. I think I will call him Pinocchio. So the carpenter was thinking of a name. What shall I call him? And he said to himself, he was talking to himself. So he said, I think I will call him Pinocchio. So he named the puppet Pinocchio. And what was he making out of that wood? A puppet, a wooden puppet. So after choosing the name for his puppet, Geppetto set seriously to work. Now seriously means with great attention, without being disturbed. So first of all, he made the hair of the puppet, then the forehead. This is the forehead, okay? And the eyes of the puppet. So he was very surprised when he noticed that these eyes moved and then stared at him. Geppetto said, "Hooded eyes, why do you stare?" Now here, he was very serious, making the hair, the forehead, and the eyes of the puppet. And suddenly, he saw something. He was very surprised. What was that? The puppet's eyes were moving and was staring nicely at him. Who was the puppet staring at? The puppet was staring at Geppetto. Actually, can wooden dolls or puppets stare? It is not at all alive, isn't it? It is not like us. But this particular puppet was staring, was looking at Geppetto. So, "Hidden eyes, why do you stare?" said Geppetto, the carpenter. There was no answer. Why was there no answer? Because Geppetto had not made his mouth. So after the eyes, it was time to carve the nose. That means to carve the nose, make the nose with the chisel, which began to grow longer as soon as it was finished. When Geppetto finished making the nose, it began to grow longer and longer till it became so long that it seemed endless. That means it was never ending. It was growing and growing. It was getting longer and longer. What was getting longer? The nose of the puppet. Poor Geppetto kept cutting it and cutting it. But the more he cut it, the longer it grew. So poor Geppetto, that is the carpenter, was cutting and trying to make it shorter. But the more he cut, the more it grew. Then he thought of stopping it, and he wanted to make the mouth. So no sooner was it finished than it began to laugh at him. No sooner he had finished making the mouth of the puppet started laughing at Geppetto. "Stop laughing," said Geppetto angrily. Geppetto was very angry because the puppet was laughing. The mouth stopped laughing. But do you know what it did? It stuck out a long tongue. It stuck out a long tongue means it put out its tongue. So, not wishing to start an argument, Geppetto went on with his work. Geppetto did not want to say anything to the puppet, so he just went on with his work. After the mouth, he made the chin. This is the chin. Then the neck, all right? The shoulders, the stomach, the arms, and the hands. The legs and feet still had to be made. As soon as they were done, Geppetto felt a kick on the tip of his nose. Now, Geppetto made the mouth, the chin, the neck, the shoulders, the stomach, the arms, and the hands. Then after that, he made the legs and feet. As soon as they were done, Geppetto felt a kick on the tip of his nose. That means the legs were finished. The legs were done. The feet was made. But as soon as it was finished, the puppet kicked Geppetto at the tip of his nose. So, "I deserve this," he said to himself. "I deserve this" means whatever was happening was a result of his work. He was making the puppet out of wood. So this work only had made Geppetto sorry, he had made the puppet out of the wood. Just because he made the puppet, he had to undergo this problem. He was facing this problem because the puppet was kicking him. The puppet was doing all sorts of things. The puppet was laughing at him. It was sticking out a long tongue. It was staring at him. He was doing all sorts of things because he was making the puppet. So it was due to his work. So that is why he said, I deserve this. So I should have thought of this before I made him. Before I made him. Now it's too late. So he thought, I should have thought of this before. But now it's too late. The puppet is already alive. So he took hold of the puppet under his arms and put him on the floor to teach him how to walk. Pinocchio's legs were so stiff that he could not move them. Geppetto held his hand and showed him how to walk, to put one foot after the other. So what happened? He took hold of the puppet, put the puppet on the floor and taught him how to walk. He showed him how to put one foot after the other. So this way the puppet learned to walk. As soon as Pinocchio could walk by himself, he started to run all around the room. Now he learned to walk and he started to run all around the room. He came to open the door, and with one leap, he was out into the street. Away he flew. As soon as he learned to walk, he began to run around the room, and he came to open the door, and with one leap, that means with one step or one jump, he was out into the street. Poor Geppetto ran after him, but was unable to catch him. Catch the naughty puppet, catch him. Geppetto kept shouting, but those who saw them stood still to stare and to laugh until they cried. Geppetto ran after the puppet, but he could not catch the puppet. He shouted at the people who were looking at the puppet, and he was running after, so the people were looking at them and laughing away. The puppet looked so funny, and the people were staring. The people were staring and they were laughing. They laughed so much because the puppet was very funny. So they laughed so much that tears came out of their eyes. So it is written by Carlo Collodi. So thank you, children. Now here I will be giving work to you, and I'll be sending it through offline WhatsApp. Thank you, children.